Hey plant fam! Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Jacqueline. This is not my jungle, it's my spare bedroom, and we've brought some of the jungle in here, but we're also progressively moving the jungle out of here and into my boyfriend's apartment in case you've missed it. So hi, if you're new here, welcome. Thank you for clicking on this video. I appreciate you. I hope you stick around. So today, what we're going to be doing is the first episode in a new series that I've been trying to get off the ground for a little while now. We keep experiencing some technical difficulties, so hopefully we're good this time. And that is my repot with me and let's chat about whatever. So for me personally, I have been going through a lot with in a relationship that wasn't so great and learning how to heal from that. And a lot of what I've done aside from seeking therapy is research. I've done a lot of research into narcissism specifically. So today I wanted to start a little mini series within the series where we're going to talk about narcissism, but I want to break down things in a manner that can help you understand what to look for. I want to help you, fam. I want to have your back. This community usually is very full of compassionate, kind, empathetic, sensitive human beings who like to nurture things. We tend to be introverts. Of course, this is not the case for all of you. I'm just speaking from my personal experience and a lot of the people that I have interacted with within the plant community. We are more susceptible to these kinds of relationships and these kinds of people entering our lives. And if I can help you, even just the tiniest bit, learn some of those things to look out for that nobody ever taught me, that I wish somebody would have taught me, then I'm happy and I feel like I've done my job. So today we are going to focus on narcissistic love bombing. But first, thank you to our sponsor for today, that is BetterHelp. I'm very excited about this sponsor and very excited to share this with you because it's something that I've been using. So, a word from today's sponsor. Is there something interfering with your happiness or your ability to achieve your goals? Fam, for me personally, this was a really bad relationship and a really bad breakup, and it affected my life and my ability to go to school and do things and get things done. So we are going to talk a little bit more about that later on in this video, but I wanted to talk to you about BetterHelp. BetterHelp is amazing because they will assess your needs and match you with a licensed professional therapist that you can start communicating with within 48 hours of signing up. Sign up is really easy, really simple, really fast. You answer a few questions and boom, you're matched with a therapist that you can start communicating with almost immediately. It is important to note that BetterHelp is not a crisis line and it is not self-help. It is a licensed professional therapist offered to you online. There's a broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's 20,000 plus therapist network that are maybe not available locally to you in your area. You can log into your account anytime and chat with your therapist and they will get back to you in a timely manner. Usually I find within 24 hours I get a response from them. Not only do you get a timely and thoughtful response from your therapist, but you can also make a weekly appointment to chat with them through video chat or on the phone if you're uncomfortable with video. I enjoy that we can do this online because it eliminates that uncomfortable feeling of having to go and sit in a waiting room to see somebody or even just like physically get up and go. For me personally, when I'm in a state of anxiety or depression, I have a hard time getting up and going and doing everything. So being able to do that from the comfort of your own home is amazing. BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, so they make it really easy for you and free to change your therapist at any time if you feel like you need to. For me personally, I wasn't getting what I needed out of the first therapist that I was speaking to, so I switched to who I'm speaking to now, and I absolutely adore her, and I have been loving it, and I will talk to you guys more about that in the future. Another thing that I love about BetterHelp is that it's way more affordable than traditional therapy, and they also offer financial aid options because they want you to be living your happiest life today. Do not wait. Do not hesitate to start living your best life right now, because it is possible. I can promise you that. So if you are interested, visit betterhelp.com/Jacqueline's Jungle. That's better, H-E-L-P, and join the over 2 million people that have taken charge of their mental health and decided to change their lives. There's also a special offer for you guys, Plant Fam. If you go to betterhelp.com/Jacqueline's Jungle, you will get 10% off your first month of therapy. So again, betterhelp.com/Jacqueline's Jungle, and you will get 10% off your first month. So highly recommend it, and let's get back into the video. Okay, so hopefully watching me film my first ad wasn't the most awkward thing you've ever seen in your life, but I tried. Okay, I tried, and I genuinely am very excited. I have been using BetterHelp for about 4 or 5 weeks now, and I am really excited to share more of that with you guys if that's something that you want to hear about. My experiences so far with them have been amazing, and I'm really, really grateful that they reached out and wanted to sponsor this video. So hopefully this can help you guys in more than one way. If this is just really informational, I have my notes right here, sorry. Or if it encourages you to finally sign up for therapy, because for me that was something that was really difficult to do. Like, that is a hard thing to do, and it takes a lot of courage to do that in the first place. So if that is a step that you are deciding to take, then congratulations, and I'm proud of you. So anyway, let's move on. Today we're going to talk about narcissistic love bombing. No. So I chose this as my first topic. Oh, and we're going to repot this calathea. I didn't bring my repotting mat, of course, because I literally always forget it, but we'll get it. I barely have any plants to repot right now because I'm in the process of moving, and a lot of my plants are over there at the new place, and a lot of them have already been repotted and taken care of, and I filmed this video already once before and repotted a bunch of plants, so I was like, damn, now I have no plants to repot. But this one is in a really tiny little container, and it's getting very big, so I thought that we would actually just finally put it into the pot that it's been sitting in. So that pot has drainage, don't worry. I wouldn't do that to my calathea. So Calathea orbifolia, in case you didn't know what this plant is, or Geoportia, apparently, or I don't know if I'm saying that right, is the new genus. So anyway, love bombing. What the heck is it? I mean, it sounds like exactly what it is, like a love bomb. Like somebody literally dropped a bomb of love on you, and it can be very intense and overwhelming, and not like in a good way. Like, love, meeting somebody and having a thing for each other or having a connection shouldn't be a bomb. I'm going to talk to you today about some of the red flags that you should be aware of when starting a new relationship with anybody. I am going to focus a little bit more on romantic relationships, but this can be applied to family members, bosses, all types of different situations. There can be narcissists in your life in lots of different ways, but when it comes to the romantic relationship, love bombing is a thing that we all need to be aware of, in my opinion anyway. Like, protect yourself, girl, you know? If I was going to define love bombing and give you like an image of what I think that looks like, I'm not a psychologist. I meant to preface that with, I don't have any formal education in psychology besides like the one Psych 101 class I took in college, but I've experienced these things and I've done a lot of research on these things. So I'm really just speaking from that perspective of the research that I've done and my own personal experiences and other people's experiences as well, people that I've spoken to, kind of like mashed into one. So if I were to define love bombing for you and give you an image of what I think that looks like, It's very much a person who wants to create a fairy tale. They want to be the hero of your story. They want to create this whole fairy tale scenario so that you feel like you're being swept off your feet and, oh my goodness, this is like what I've been waiting for. This is my Prince Charming. That's what you're going to equate some of those feelings to. That's what they want. They will ask you all of the questions about you, and you might even be sitting there thinking like, wow, this guy is so great. He wants to know all these things about me. And I'm not saying that only men are narcissists. I'm just speaking from one perspective here to give an example. It can happen the other way around. It can happen in any kind of relationship. Gender does not matter in this scenario. Nothing matters. This is an individual thing. Anybody can be a narcissist. So they very much want to create this like fairy tale scenario for you so that you're not questioning any of the other things. They're going to want to find out everything about you. And you might think it's so great. Like I said, like this person wants to know all about my life, all about what I want my future to look like. But in reality, they're kind of just trying to gather as much information about you as possible so that they can use it against you, which is just as messed up as it sounds. I agree. So the first thing I have on my list here of things that you want to look out for, like signs, red flags of love bombing, is somebody that's very over complimentary of you. So obviously you deserve all the compliments, boo, because you're amazing and you're beautiful and you're glowing and you're intelligent, and all of those things are not true. They're not wrong. You deserve those compliments. But there is a difference between complimenting somebody and over complimenting somebody to the point where it's almost like overwhelming. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that, where it's like, okay, you don't have to keep repeating it over and over, like I get it. But that's a huge red flag. And the reason why that's a huge red flag is because somebody is trying to project that onto you. Not that you aren't those things, that's not what I'm saying. They're just trying really hard to like drill into your head that they think you're amazing. And you are amazing, let me tell you, but this becomes a problem. Another thing that they're going to do is maybe shower you with like really extravagant gifts. They might start telling you that they love you within only like a week of knowing you, talking about marriage and your life together. That's like talking to somebody about marriage on your first date. Like you haven't even had any normal conversations yet. Like for a normal human being, that would be a red flag. So I'm just saying to be mindful that even though you might be thinking those things in your head, it's not uncommon. People do fall in love with each other very quickly. A normal, stable human being would know that even if that's what you're thinking and that's what you're feeling, that you probably shouldn't say it on the first date or the second or the third, because you might overwhelm that person and you might scare them off. I wonder why, because nobody wants to be love bombed. For me, love bombing is this fairy tale that feels almost too good to be true, maybe a little bit intimidating, maybe a little bit overwhelming, maybe it makes you feel a little bit anxious, and maybe you're not so sure, but you're like, why am I questioning it when he's telling me how great I am and he's doing all these things for me, he's giving me all these extravagant gifts and telling me that he wants this life with me and that he's going to solve all of my problems and be my Prince Charming. You know what I mean? Like that is love bombing. Now, I'm not trying to sit here and accuse anybody of being a narcissist or anything like that, but I think that we can use a particular famous person as an example. So this was more relevant a few weeks ago when I first, or a month ago even, honestly, at this point when I first recorded this video than it is now, but this individual is recently divorced and started in another relationship with somebody, and within a day, you know, you're flying them somewhere, setting up a photo shoot and a public restaurant, which just like was really cringy and uncomfortable, buying all, who was at my door? Buying all of your friends designer handbags for your birthday? Like, does that even, like, I'm sorry. But if it seems like too much, it's probably too much. Do you feel me? Like, those are red flags for a reason. Like, do not ignore those gut feelings that you have that something maybe isn't quite right. Do you understand what I mean? I don't know if I'm explaining this well, but I am trying. So bear with me. I am going to go grab my repotting mat. All right, I got my repotting mat because I forgot it. You can't see my face right now. That's fine. So I'm going to tell you some more signs. Hopefully we've gotten at least an accurate idea of what love bombing looks like. Hopefully. This is my first time trying to, no, honestly, it's my second time, but the first time my thoughts came out really jumbled, so I'm hoping that they're not as jumbled this time. So this person is going to not only be very over complimentary and give you extravagant gifts, they're going to require a lot of your attention. And at first you might like it that they want to talk to you every day and know everything that you're doing, but you'll soon realize that it is more of a control thing than it is actually just like wanting all of your attention. They become very possessive human beings. They become very obsessive human beings. They want you all to themselves and they don't want to share you with anyone or anything else because they're afraid that this reality and this fairy tale that they've crafted and dragged you into because they've swept, like they call it sweeping you off your feet for a reason. I feel like they've swept you off your feet and they've carried you into this fairy tale that isn't real. It's just something that they've crafted to try and get you into the position that they want you in so that they can control and manipulate you. Why, you may ask? We'll get there, boo. We'll get there. I am going to link Dr. Ramani's channel for you guys too, because a lot of what I'm talking about today and everything that I've learned for the most part has come from her. She is a licensed clinical psychologist who specializes in narcissism, narcissistic relationships, how to get out of them, how to heal from them, and a lot of what I'm relaying to you today is just information that I have learned from her and, again, my own unfortunate experiences. So yeah, these people tend to be very possessive, very obsessive. I remember my ex-boyfriend trying to control like every aspect of my life, didn't want me to hang out with certain people because they have this like innate fear that people close to you are going to point out that they're not who they say they are and that maybe they're not keeping all these promises that they're making you, because that's a big thing with love bombing. We tend to call that future faking in the whole realm of narcissism because that's what they do. That's why they will try and pry for all of the things about you so that they can create a future, a fake future, that's one that you want so badly that you're willing to put up with whatever BS they're putting you through to get there, because the love bombing stage does not last. They will eventually begin to devalue you and the cycle will start. But we are just focused on the love bombing aspect today and how to recognize these people. So they also tend to be really insecure and have low self-esteem. Now, this isn't always the case, but I do find that with more covert narcissists anyway, that they may simultaneously be the victim and the hero. So they want to be the hero of your story, but they tend to be the victim of their own. So definitely watch out for these people who have that victim mentality and that whole, like, woe is me, the whole world is against me, poor me, nobody loves me, I need you to love me. Like, girl, run. Like, run from that stuff. I promise you, you will not regret it. So it's actually some pretty good roots on my Orbi. I hope that this doesn't make her unhappy. I wasn't actually planning on repotting her, but I needed something to repot with you guys today. So let's see. What else is on my list? The future faking, talked about that. Oh my god, is this in a plug? It's in a plug. It's been in one of those plugs this whole time. It's still growing and thriving, so I guess it couldn't be that bad. Future faking, promises they don't intend to keep. They say what you want to hear. Again, like I said, they're going to find out all of the things that you want, and then they're going to pretend to be that. They literally will steamroll you with love, which sounds like an oxymoron, but that's kind of what it feels like. If it feels really intense and kind of overwhelming, that's a red flag. Like, it's not supposed to feel that way. I know that we've been lied to by Disney movies and fairy tales and all of the things that they shoved down our throats, especially as young women, that, you know, your prince is gonna come and save you and everything is gonna be great and you're gonna live happily ever after. Like, none of that stuff is realistic. You should not be, like, that whole concept of butterflies I'm a little bit iffy on too, because, like, what are you so anxious about? If this is really like a person that cares about you, there should be no judgment. There should be nothing for you to worry about, nothing for you to hide. You can be your true, authentic self. Why are you anxious? I know that, like, going on a first date or a blind date, maybe even a second or third date with somebody that you like can make you a little nervous. That's normal. But for those, like, sickening butterfly feelings, like, I just don't buy it. Call me cynical, but I just don't buy it. I think that that's a lie that we've been told. I look at a lot of these books and fairy tales and movies and things that I watched growing up, and I'm like, that's love bombing. Like, he's literally love bombing her, and, like, we've normalized that behavior. Like, a lot of these fairy tales are very much so scary toxic. I'm just gonna say, agree to disagree if you want to, that's fine. Again, this is my personal opinion, and I just hope that opening up these topics can at least maybe help even just one person. So if you are feeling like you've experienced this before and you didn't know what it was, I mean, now you know what to call it. At least. So another thing that I wanted to point out about love bombing and the beginning stages of a narcissistic relationship is that they will get very offended by you trying to create boundaries. So if you tell them, like, hey, these extravagant gifts are making me uncomfortable, or, like, you're complimenting me too much, it's making me uncomfortable, like, stop putting me up on a pedestal, like I'm just a human like you are, you know, we don't want to be treated like I don't know about you, but I don't want to be treated like I'm a princess, because that's just like a really high standard that I feel like you're now holding me to that's not realistic. Do you know what I mean? So definitely be aware of those things. If you feel like at all you're walking on eggshells, even just the tiniest bit, that is not good. That is not normal. That is definitely a sign that you could potentially be being love bombed. But I'd say that the biggest red flags for me personally is when they try to isolate you. They try to separate you from your friends and your family by maybe talking negatively about them, trying to get you to think negatively about them so that they don't have influence over you anymore. They want to be the only person that has influence over you. They want to control your life. They want to control how you think. They want to control how you feel. They want to control how you dress, who you're friends with, how late you stay out, what you do. Like, literally, if you allow them to, they will control every single aspect of your life. And in a perfect scenario for them, you're going to allow it to happen. You're going to welcome it, because you're not even going to realize that it's happening, because they've got you so stuck in this reality that they've crafted that's not real. You're the only one that's in it, that they can just convince you of anything, to be honest. And it's almost seems silly if you've never experienced it, because it's kind of a situation that I've been bringing up recently. You guys obviously know the Will Smith situation. I don't have to explain to you what happened. For me, as somebody who's been in a narcissistic, abusive relationship or two, did these have bulbs? Like, I feel like this has like rhizomes. Like, I'm feeling like these big chunky, I mean, if that's the case, that's cool. I feel like these roots have rhizomes on them, the way that like string of hearts do. If you guys have ever unpotted a string of hearts. Anyway, what was I talking about? I accidentally moved the frame a little bit. It's fine. Everything is fine. So I know that most of you are probably really tired of hearing about it, but for me personally, when I saw that video, I saw his face and I saw her face, and it was very clear to me as somebody who has been in a narcissistic and abusive relationship that that was the case. So for me, it was kind of a no-brainer. As soon as I saw his eyes and her roll hers, I was like, oh boy, he's being abused. And ever since then, if you don't live under a rock, you'll know that there have been more videos now that have been surfacing of her manipulating him, treating him badly, and it's just more and more signs and signals for me that tell me that this woman is potentially a narcissist and that she has been, at the very least, emotionally abusing him and manipulating him. So it might be easy to look at from the outside and be like, well, why don't you just leave? Like, if you're being abused, then just leave. And what people don't realize when you're not in it and when you haven't experienced it is that it's extremely difficult to break that bond. You're usually in a trauma bond, which is something that we're going to talk about in a different video. But that trauma bond between the abuser and the person who's being abused is so hard to break, because a lot of the time you don't even recognize the extent of the abuse that you're even experiencing, because it can be so subtle and so manipulative and so gradual over time, because at first your relationship started out and they thought that you were the greatest thing that ever walked the planet. So what happened? That all of a sudden now they're treating you as if you're worthless and trying to actually make you believe that you're worthless, because they want to keep you down. If they can keep you down here, then they can control you. And if they can continue to control you, then they continue to get what they want out of it, which is what? I don't know. We call it narcissistic supply. What is it exactly? Why do they want it? I don't know. We could talk about that in another video, but I wanted to use that as an example because it is something that is relevant in our culture right now. And I think it's a missed opportunity to talk about what narcissistic abuse looks like. So what happens really, honestly, is that it is so hard to recognize it when you're in it. And then even if you do recognize it, it's almost impossible to break it. It is so hard, you guys. It took me years to finally just throw my hands up and be like, I deserve more than this. And I can't be dealing with this anymore. So I hope that is helpful. I am gonna actually finally repot this plant now. I have some of my soil in this bucket over here. So I hope that this video was helpful. I hope that it wasn't triggering for anybody. I apologize if it was. I am genuinely just trying to help. I really I'm just a very empathetic person and a very compassionate human being, and I so badly want to prevent the people that I care about from experiencing the kind of trauma that I've experienced in my life. And if that means that sharing uncomfortable things and talking about topics like this is what it takes to help people, then I'm more than happy to do that. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this little chat. Let me know if you are interested in and excited in more installments. My next topic that I have on my list here is the devaluing and the discarding portion of the relationship, and what is narcissistic supply. So we have lots of things to talk about. I've also got the trauma bond on there, PTSD, what is gaslighting. because that's a really popular topic right now, gaslighting. A lot of people use the term incorrectly or apply it to situations that maybe are just toxic and manipulative. It's a big word. But not necessarily always gaslighting. So I do think it's important to have these conversations. The comment section is open to you guys if you feel comfortable sharing your experiences, if you have questions, if this is a totally new topic for you. I have more resources for you if you want to look into it. If you're feeling like you've ever experienced this kind of trauma and you need help healing from it, I 110% recommend going to betterhelp.com/Jacqueline'sJungle and just sign up. Girl, just do it. Even if it's just for 1 month and you talk to somebody 4 times, like that, just a handful of conversations that I've had with my therapist have been so beneficial to me. And it can be hard for me, honestly, to benefit from traditional therapy because I am so self-aware and so educated already in a lot of these things that, and I already do a lot of like the self-care things. I exercise, I eat right, I sleep, I meditate, all of those things that, you know, you should do. My plants too. This is like a really therapeutic thing for a lot of us. I know that that's the case for a lot of you as well. So if you've been feeling for any reason like the things you aren't doing, the things that you're doing aren't working, like I just kind of hit a wall when things with my ex ended. My whole reality just came like shattering down because I didn't realize that I allowed him to create a reality for me to live in that wasn't real. It was a fairy tale. It was just this idea of something that could be, this hope that I kept on holding on to, and it was all just empty promises. And I dealt with that for almost 10 years of my life, and the trauma that I experienced from it still today is a lot to handle. And if I can prevent somebody from going through that at all from watching these videos, then I mean, I would cry with happiness, to be honest with you. I feel like my purpose in life is to help people in any way that I can. And I never thought that a YouTube channel about plants would bring me here, where people are reaching out to me and thanking me for even just being open about my experiences and my issues and my struggles with mental health and my physical health as well. And just being relatable. I mean, that's what I'm trying to deliver for you guys. I do the best that I can to keep it 100 with you all the time. There's obviously things that I have to keep private in my life, but I share so much with you guys because I think it's important for you to see something real. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be fake with you. I'm not going to only show you the plants that are doing well. I'm going to show you the ones that are dying too. I'm not going to not film because things are a mess. Like, realistically, we've all got, if you've got houseplants, you've probably got dirt on your carpet right now. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Like, and nobody's here to judge you for it. It's okay. So it goes much deeper than that too. You guys can always reach out to me if there's something that you want to say to me. I'm not really great at answering my DMs right now. It can get overwhelming, and for my own mental health, sometimes I have to tell myself to just like stop, because I'm constantly talking to people, and as an introvert that can be really draining sometimes. But don't stop messaging me because I love it. And if you have messaged me and I haven't answered in a long time, it's probably just because you got buried. So just shoot me another one. I try to, like, if I see a new one pop up, I'll open it like right away. So if you can catch me when I'm online, that's usually a better option, because otherwise I get so many a day that they kind of just like get buried, and I try really hard to keep up, but it's really hard. So anyway, yeah, this plant is almost all potted up. I need to do a little bit of top dressing and maybe a little bit more dirt, but I love her in this pot. Not mad about it. So I want to say that's it for this video. I want to keep talking, but I don't want it to be too long. I just want to make sure that everything I said makes sense so that you can walk away from this video confidently understanding what love bombing would look like. So if somebody just walks up in your life and starts telling you how great you are and how much they love you after knowing you for 5 minutes, you could be like, I'm pretty sure Jackie tried to tell me about this that one time when she was unsuccessfully repotting a calathea. I hope it's successful. It looks fine, right? I'll be really sad if I kill this thing because the amount of times that I thought I had and it's still alive is baffling. Anyway, so I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask me in the comments below. If it's something private, like I said, DM me. If you don't have Instagram, feel free to email me. All of my contact information is in the description box below. You guys never read the description box for some reason. It's just a drop-down arrow right next to the title. Click on it. All the information is right there. All the links you will ever need. I will also have everything pinned to the top of the comments. So the link for BetterHelp, Better H-E-L-P, is it / or /? Jacqueline's Jungle, and definitely recommend doing it. It couldn't have come at a better time for me, honestly. I don't know why I even waited as long as I did, because I'm actually better off now than I was before when things initially happened about a year ago. I think that it just can be really difficult to actually seek that help out. So having them reach out to me was a blessing in disguise. So I appreciate you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything from me. Lots of fun content coming at you. We're in the middle of a move, so obviously things are a little crazy. My schedule is a little bit off right now. Chaos, pure chaos, but we're getting it done. So I appreciate you, fam, and I hope I see you in the next one. Bye. Oh, did you have a nice nap? No, come here. Come say hello. He's so quiet. Did you have a nice nap? Was it good? I love you. Okay.